Brock Savelkoul survived 3 tours in Iraq. He never dreamed his showdown would come in a pasture in North Dakota.
Put your hands up and step out of the vehicle with your hands in the air.
It's September 21st, 2010. Savelkoul's black Tacoma pickup has run out of gas. Police cars from 3 counties and the Highway Patrol have chased him here. They captured the whole showdown on camera. Savelkoul used to be an all-around kind of guy. His sister Angie keeps the highlights from his school years in a box.
Most of these are when he was younger. He got letters. What do they call it when they do really good in sports? I think it's letters.
Savelkoul's buddies in Iraq say they all liked him. Mike Krebsbach fought with Savelkoul on his first 2 deployments.
I watched Brock perform, and he did everything to the T. I guess you don't really expect, psychological issues from anyone, but this guy especially, like I said, he's a solid kind of guy.
But then in January 2009, a rocket exploded right outside the trailer near Baghdad, where Savelkoul and other soldiers were staying. Savelkoul and 4 others were diagnosed with mild traumatic brain injury. Savelkoul also got a shrapnel wound in his leg, and he got a Purple Heart. Then Savelkoul went on R&R to Thailand, and his sister and father, Bruce, started getting freaky phone calls in the middle of the night.
He was just absolutely terrified.
He was saying that, the bad guys are after me, you're never going to see me again, or I'm lost, I don't know where I'm at.
He was so scared that his voice just trembled.
The Army sent Savelkoul back to the States. Now he was also diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. The Army put him in and out of treatment for about a year, but Savelkoul didn't get better. So the Army discharged him. 6 months later, Savelkoul smashed his Army trophy case. He grabbed his Purple Heart and 6 guns, including a semi-automatic assault rifle. And then Savelkoul tore off down the highway.
Attention all units. Watford City PD is in pursuit of a vehicle southbound Highway 85.
They won't stop they have guns in their vehicle.
How many guys are in it?
Just 1.
Megan Christopher had been a trooper for only a couple of years. She says her mother was worried that the job was dangerous, but Christopher assured her that not much happens in North Dakota.
I was the first person that was responding, and so I made contact with the Watford City officer, told him that I would stage and set up some spike strips to try to take out the tires of the vehicle.
Police reports said later that Savelkoul had driven from his home in Minot to Watford City. Then he'd marched into a convenience store, and he pointed his gun at a customer and said, "Do you want to die?" Then he started racing down Highway 85 toward Dickinson. Christopher and other officers from 3 counties and the Highway Patrol keep chasing him for roughly half an hour, through the stubble of crops, down dirt roads. Savelkoul keeps making U-turns to try to shake them.
Is he coming right at me?
Now, Savelkoul races through a farmstead, back to the highway. Then suddenly, his pickup runs out of gas. More than half a dozen officers jump out of their cruisers and crouch behind their doors.
Step out of the vehicle with your hands in the air.
They aim their shotguns at Savelkoul's heart.
Put your hands in the air. In the air. Put your hands in the air. Do it now. Stop. Stop.
Brock is standing there with an AR-15 in his right hand, and I'm talking on the PA unit on my vehicle. The other officers are just shouting.
Drop the gun. Drop the gun. Put the gun down.
Somewhere along the line, I get the message that was an individual involved in the military, had been to Iraq.
Comes back to a Brock Savelkoul out of Minot.
Had Purple Heart, was suicidal. There were guns missing from the house.
Put the gun down, Brock.
I think he yells, "How do you know my name?" I started to use his name to try to kind of humanize it.
Brock, it's not worth it. My name's Megan. This is really, it's not worth it, Brock.
People think law enforcement are, just big burly men that come and bop you on the head, or I don't know. But, it was just trying to be something different.
Brock, I don't want to hurt you. None of the guys out here want to hurt you. You say you don't want to hurt law enforcement. We don't want to hurt you. Lay the gun down, Brock. Just set it down.
Brock Savelkoul doesn't lay the gun down. In fact, the standoff will last for 2 more hours.
I'm getting tired of saying, drop the weapon, drop the weapon. So I'm trying to come up with different things.
And let me use some of that chapstick because my lips are really dry now. I've been talking a lot here.
My lips were pretty dry, so it's trying to get him to share.
At one point, Christopher even sings to Brock, but nothing seems to work. In fact, Savelkoul walks straight toward the troopers and their guns.
Go ahead and put the gun down, Brock.
I don't know how he didn't get shot. For me, it came very close, very, very close.
Prove to us that you don't want to hurt anybody.
He was saying he doesn't want to hurt anyone. He wouldn't hurt law enforcement. And I believed him. He didn't point the weapon at us. He wasn't threatening us. He was a man standing there with a gun. There's a phenomena called suicide by cop, where people want to die but can't kill themselves, so they think that the cops will do it for them. As we're out there on the scene, he says, I want to go out in a blaze of glory. I want to go out in a blaze of glory.
Savelkoul shoots the pickup with his assault rifle. Still, the officers don't shoot him. Finally, Brock Savelkoul surrenders.
I had told him, I'm going to come out and meet you. Put all the guns down and I'll come out and meet you.
All during this standoff, the troopers and police have hardly been talking with each other. Nobody's been coordinating a strategy.
I'm telling him I'm kind of new at this. I'm just trying to keep his attention focused on me because there's still all these other people around. There's people moving up closer all around now that he's finally put the guns down. I'm walking up to him. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do, except I'm trying to get him to put his hands up and turn away from me, and he's not.
Just as Savelkoul's surrendering, an officer rushes up and shoots him with a taser.
I lost the call. I'm going to cry.
Once he's on the ground and disarmed and we're trying to get the barbs out of him, I just walk over to him and I put my hand on his cheek and just tell him, Megan. I didn't just tell him that I wanted to meet him just to try to get him to do what I was asking him to do. I actually wanted to go out and meet him and say thanks for the service that he provided. You know, life is hard, but it's definitely not the way to end it. There's a lot more out there.